Flosstube number 45. Today it is the very last day of February. I am filming on a Saturday and I have progress to show you. Quite a bit on my bigger projects. I'm quite happy about that. I have some new starts. I have one project that I am about to start and I have one fully finished to show you. So we've got a lovely floss tube, an old-fashioned floss tube, nothing else but progress updates. And of course, as always, we'll start with some porcelain. But not before I've said thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate that. If you are new here, my name is Hanneke and I've had this channel for over 2.5 years now and I really enjoy it. I share my cross stitch. So far, I've also shared some of my embroidery. I'm doing an embroidery course, haute couture embroidery. But I am in the middle of starting another channel focusing on that. So I will probably not show that in this video anymore, so it'll be just cross stitch. But you can go over to my other channel and I will put that on the screen. It is the Upcycle Needle channel, and I will post my progress on my embroidery pieces there. So I have been working on several dresses. I am working on boleros and jackets. So I'm thrifting clothes and then upcycling them with embroidery. So you can find that now somewhere else. Right, porcelain. I love my porcelain, so I always show a Royal Albert teacup. But today I have a teacup and a plate. Because as you know, I have this whole, see if I can show you. So this is the Moonlight Rose. I basically have a tea set. I could do a high tea, I could do breakfast, I could do lunch with it. For 2 people. So I don't have a big set. It's all for 2 people. And I now thought, why don't I also have some plates and then just a mix of whatever I like to actually use every day because it's pretty and why not? Life is too short to use ugly porcelain. So I've decided to go for plates and I went thrifting in Dordrecht. And those of you who don't know Dordrecht, it has a lot of thrifting places, a lot of antiques, a lot of secondhand, more vintage, not yet antiques. So I went there and I found this fantastic plate for only 10 euros, which is not expensive at all. And it is a Royal Albert. And I'm using this every morning now for my breakfast. How pretty is that? It is part of the Cottage Garden Year series, 1984. And this is the plate Autumn. So there is one for every season. There is no gold on it, which is sort of normal for Royal Albert. I love this one. Love, love, love this one. And I love autumn, as you know, it's my favorite season. So I saw it and I thought, yeah, I'm getting that one. And I'm using it and I'm not cutting on it. But in the Netherlands, we have something called beschuit. So I eat a beschuit not every morning, but some mornings, and I use this plate. But my cutting I do on a cutting board. But isn't that pretty? I think it's so dainty and elegant. And I love the border. Without the gold, I think it suits this plate perfectly to be like this. And I'd love to have all 4 of them, obviously. But I'm also not going to pay £30 for a plate. 40 euros, sorry. So we'll see if I can get the other ones cheap somewhere as well. But this one is mine. Isn't that beautiful? So yeah, Royal Albert is one of those things where you start and you keep telling yourself, I won't get that. First I was focusing on this, and then I thought, There are so many pretty designs. Why not collect every cup? So I'm doing that. And I'm starting with this. I don't care, it's pretty. And this is my cup because obviously that's what we always do. I thrifted this in Dordrecht as well. And I love this one. I love the pink that very carefully in this one moves to the yellow. I think that's beautiful. It does not have a name. I don't think there would be a whole set of this, probably only the cups. And the weirdest part is it has numbers underneath it. So there is a tiny, tiny number 4. I don't even know if you can see it properly. It's not really focusing, is it? It's focusing on me. Let me put it over my face, see what happens. Anyway, there is a little typewriter 4. And under the cup, there is a typewriter 29. And I don't know what those means. And I've already asked in several groups what that means. And no one seems to reply. They probably do know. And this one does have a bit of gold on it. Isn't that beautiful? It should be like this really, shouldn't it? So I love this little cup. Very, very pretty. And I was very happy thrifting in Dordrecht. I can really recommend doing a visit if you're in the Netherlands. Visit Dordrecht. Right, my fully finish. My fully finish is a freebie. I've been designing, as you all know, and I try to have a new design every month. I've decided to skip March, and that's because I have one ready, and I will put a picture up for you to see. That one will come out in April. My reason to skip March is the whole Nashville market. So I notice in my Etsy shop it's very, very quiet. And I really think it's because um, Nashville is upon us and there's plenty goodies coming out. So people have a lot to choose from. So I will skip March and I will be back with a new pattern in April. Obviously, my shop is open, so you can still go there. But I do have 2 freebies to share because this is for Easter, and Easter is important. So I decided to do tiny little ones. This one is Forgiven, and I have a similar one which is Alleluia. So I stitched these on 20 count Ada, and that means that they fit perfectly in these frames. These are about, I think the inner circle is 7.5 centimeters. So they fit absolutely perfectly. And I did that on purpose because that's what I wanted. And I used, for this one, I used the Gentle Art Pine. So it's a beautiful green. And for this one, I used Purple Pansy. Is it that? Something like that. And it is by, I think it says Crescent Color Works. I believe that is before a brand that we have currently, Color Works, but classic Color Works. But it still says Crescent, so I don't know if they still do the Purple Pansy, but it's beautiful, deep purple. And purple and green go very well, I think, with Easter and with the Easter message. Isn't that beautiful? Forgiven. That is the message of Easter. So I've got these 2. I might, if I enjoy it, and if you enjoy it, add every year to this, and so you get a lot of these that you could put in a tree or something like that. But for now, there are 2. You can find these on my website. So I've started a website, and I will put the www.adutchstitcherdesign.com. And if you go to cross stitch, designs, which is a tab, you can scroll down and then you get to a free PDF. So if you enjoy these and you would love to stitch something for Easter that helps you to meditate a little bit on the message of Easter, then you can find these on my website. And I enjoy stitching these. My mum is even stitching them. She liked them too. I think she started with this one. And I was gonna do the full Hallelujah, but that didn't fit. So that's why we ended up with this one, which is a slightly different writing on it. But I really like them. And it really suits with my shabby chic style of design. So yeah, I was quite happy. I was playing around with all of this. First I had it much bigger, and then I thought, let's tone it down. The word is important, and then leave a little bit of the pretty frame. So there you go. Those are free. And obviously, if you stitch them on larger counts, you can still calculate and see if you can get a slightly bigger frame that also still fits. So it looks like, for me, it looked like a bauble that you could put in a tree. So yeah, but to exactly fit in a 7.5, it is a 20 count Aida, which could also be a 40 count linen. So there you go. That's what we start with. Then I have new starts because life is too short not to start new things. The first one is actually not a new start, it is a restart. This is End of Summer or At the End of Summer from Modern Folk Embroidery, which is the same designer as Moon Deer at the back on my wall. And I've started this one, I think a year and a half ago, maybe even longer ago. And I started it with a lot of colors because I loved those colors, but it didn't really fit the pattern. So I discontinued that and I'm using the colors in numerous other things. And I thought I'm just going to find a couple of colors that I really like. And I was poorly, quite poorly. I think I've been poorly for 2 weeks. And when you're poorly, you feel very sad for yourself, don't you? I did anyway. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to figure out which colors I'm going to use. So I just had all my colors sort of laid out around me. And I thought, what am I going to use? And I landed on the prettiest pink. And let me just grab my colors so I can tell you which ones I'm using. So I'm not using the Owl Forest embroidery colors. I'm not using similar colors. I've picked my own. And the colors I have picked is the Gentle Art Antique Rose, which is this color, beautiful pink. And it has light pink, darker pinks, sort of a peachy hue. Again, is that a word? I think it is a word. But and then I have Weeks Dye Works, and I think this one is Celadon, don't know. So it has green and a little bit of brownish, darker green. And this one does look a little bit like the one from Owl Forest. And then for the touches of brown, I have Weeks Dye Works Mocha. Again, very pretty color. It has slight hues of pink. So this really matches well with the antique rose that I have. It really blends in nicely together. So those are the 3 colors I've decided to use on this one. And I'm stitching it on a fabulous fabric from Roxy Flosco. Porcelain. Sorry, I had to think about that. This is porcelain. So it isn't white, which is interesting because the porcelain from Royal Albert became famous because porcelain was so white. And it is white. And this is porcelain, which isn't white. So it's more the old French vintage porcelain color. But I love this. I love this color palette. It is close to my heart. It's so, so pretty. I will make some changes to the design. There is a row of grapes. I am going to omit that one. And because I think I don't know, I don't think it suits very well in the design. So I'm taking that one out. It becomes a little bit smaller because of that, but that's fine. Isn't that lovely? So I've used all three colors. Obviously, a lot of pink. I've changed this as well because this was supposed to be the same color as all the pink in the pattern. They use one and the same color, but I've used the green for the leaves. And then inside the flower is the brown. And I think that's perfect. It is a 20 count and I use one strand of floss. And I love the Celadon. Beautiful color. So yeah, I'm in love with this one. Genuinely in love with this one. So I won't be surprised if this one does go quite quickly. Because I love this pattern when I first bought it. Loved it. And I was so sad when the colors didn't work. And someone once said in the comments, oh, you do so many color changes and it always works. It doesn't. It did not work. But I think this will work. It will be a very sweet piece in the end because it's very pink. I might add a little bit more green to sort of balance out all the pink. But yeah, I'm very pleased with this. I love this. And I love the variegation that is very visible. Comes very, very pretty. So at the end of summer. I currently have 3 Owl Forest in my whips. This one I have Hunted Memories that I'm making into a woodland piece. I'm omitting the hunter. Haven't stitched on that for quite a while. And then I have a piece. I don't remember what that one's called. It is the same size as the Moon Deer, so it will be a companion piece for the Moon Deer. And I'm stitching it in the same colors. Have not stitched on that for a long time either. I don't know why. Plenty to stitch. But this, I love this. Happy with this. Yeah, very happy with this. And the porcelain fabric, I love that. It's not, like I said, it's not beige. It's not white either. It has a very soft color. Very beautiful. I hope you have something to drink as well. I hope it's tea. Tea is good for a person. I have started my second, well, it's not my second reproduction anymore, but it's my second reproduction from the sofa. As always, I will explain to people who are new. Those who've been here so many times, I'm sorry, you can dream the story now. There is a sofa in a museum in the Netherlands and it's completely cross-stitched. I was going to say embroidered, but it's cross-stitched. And I've made one reproduction. You can find that in my Etsy shop. And I'm currently working on the second one. The second one is not an exact reproduction. I'm using elements from the back seat and created that into sort of an oval shape of flowers. I'm stitching it on exactly the same color as I did with Wildflowers, which is the first one. I think this one will be called Bouquet of Flowers. And I have started. So this is 500 stitches. Doesn't look like it. This is 500 stitches. And it has the beautiful greens that the other one has as well. I was going to finish the leaves, but then I was stuck on a color. So those of you who have been with me through the first process with the first one, you know that sometimes I get stuck on a color because I'm not sure if that is exactly the right color. So I was stuck, and I hope that tomorrow I can figure it out and finish at least this leaf with the stitching. But yeah, I got stuck. I think the color that I have is nice, but it's slightly too yellow. And it's not the end of the world if I stitch it in and it is a little bit too yellow, but yeah, I, I wasn't sure. So this is a start. We're starting to stitch, and that's good. Yeah, I really love these. I love these projects. And this is a good moment to tell you about. I went to Huis van Gein, House of Gein in the Netherlands. And it is sort of quite a large house in a city that was lived in by quite a wealthy family. I think in the early 1900s, and they completely kept it in the state that it was in when they lived there. Beautiful. So I went there, and it had three floors. So I went all the way up, and in the corner upstairs, sort of put away. It was even broken. It was a small side table, had no top on it anymore. It was obviously broken. Like some of the glass pieces were broken on the side, but it has cross stitching in it. So I'm trying to show you some pictures on the side. The pictures aren't great because it was genuinely in a dark corner, hidden away. And I just noticed it before I was going to leave, and I thought, oh, that's cross stitching, isn't it? It's very pretty. It's a rose and a flower design. So I have decided to contact them. So I've sent them an email and I said, I do reproductions. I would quite like make this into a reproduction. Can we talk about that? They have not yet gotten back to me, but I have asked, do you know anything about the pattern? And who made it and stuff like that. So they might be looking into that. But yeah, I've asked. So perhaps this could be a next one. And it's so unique again, like the sofa, the way that the cross stitching is embedded into this table. And wouldn't it be lovely to put this table next to the sofa? Wouldn't that be beautiful? Anyway, that's not going to happen because this one is in Dordrecht and the sofa is in Slochteren, which is quite a long way away. But I've asked, we'll see how that goes, and I was very happy to find another piece of furniture that was, made pretty with cross stitching. So there is that. Then we go to progress, and this is my beautiful Serenity by Theresa Kogut. I love this design. I am taking my time with it because it feels like such luxury when I work on this. And the reason for that is that I have all the called for specialty floss. I have a very nice piece of fabric. Sorry, I'm slightly distracted because there seems to be a small stain on it. I have to look at that later on. Yeah, I love this one. Beautiful, beautiful design. It is a design for life, really. It is a long, big stitch. Anyway, excuse the little thingies here. I'm not sure if that's dust or a stain. I have continued the border and then I stitched this. That doesn't look like much, and it probably isn't as much as I could have done. But I want to take my time with this one. I don't know why. I stitch very slowly on this. I just enjoy the colors. I mean, how pretty is this border? How pretty is that? The colors are stunning. I tend to grab this one when I really have time. So it's usually a Sunday when I decide I have a day off, no other stitching. And last Sunday I was poorly and I decided not to stitch on this because I was afraid to make a mistake. Because it is a big pattern, so it can be a little bit overwhelming. Isn't that lovely? Oh, I love that border. I love that border. It's a lot of color changing, mind you. Yeah, lovely. Lovely, lovely. My house is not big enough for all the beautiful pieces that I will one day finish and that deserve to be on the wall. So I have to come up with a solution there. I might have to start my own museum. The next one is a pattern that I have loved looking at it so many times online, and then I thought I'm going to start it. And it is, I genuinely love this pattern. It is a sweet little design. Flower Garden Sampler by Artful Offerings from 2024. And it is such a sweet design. I think my mum said she liked it too. It's very sweet. I'm stitching it exactly as it is here. Even my fabric very much resembles the picture, and I'm just in love with it. I've actually done a lot on it. So I've done all of this basically. I've done the bird, I've done all the letters, the flowers, and the top row. And then I also did this one. So I've genuinely done a lot on this because I keep getting back to it thinking, oh, I'll do a little bit more on that. And there is a lot I like. It's the colors, the soft blues are perfect. I love this fabric. It's from XG Designs. I'm not entirely sure anymore about the color, but it's from XG Designs. And it is a 20 count, but it has been dyed. So when I stitch it, it is a lot, well, not a lot, it is slightly smaller than the 20 count. And it comes out so pretty. I'm really not sure whether I would like to frame this or whether I would like to make it into a book sleeve. I think in a frame this would be lovely. So my dear friends at het Garenhuis might have to frame this for me. And they do a lovely job, I'm sure of it. Yeah, stunning. Lovely pattern. I can only recommend it. And it's not a big pattern, obviously. I'm nearly halfway actually. So well done me. There is another one where I am moving. I think I'm currently at 44%. And when I saw that, I was chuffed. This is by Modern Folk Embroidery from Jacob. So 44% on a piece by Jacob. That's good going. I don't even have to show it, and everybody knows that that's good work. There we are. This is On the Wings of a Dove or something like that. And I have decided to work over here. So I've done, I think, over 1,000 stitches. So I've worked this section and then I continued here on the border. So the border on this side only needs this extra. So I'm really, I was going to say getting there. It's still a lot of stitching to do, but yeah, it feels I'm well over halfway on that border side. I have made an error. So the left side has an extra stitch on every row. This side, it's the right side really. I just have to deal with that, but I think I can make it work. It's my mistake, so I just have to make it work. I stitched this on a 20 count. I think this is taupe, and I stitched it with Soie d'Alger 4102. So it's a beige. And on certain light, it looks beige, still looks beautiful in this color of fabric. And in other light, it looks almost white. Isn't that stunning? The border is big, but I don't mind. I think it's beautiful. And the centerpiece is lovely to stitch. Absolutely lovely to stitch. And this goes quickly because it's one color, and Jacob is a master at making patterns that are very organic to stitch, so it sort of works. You know where to go. Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And look at that teacup needle minder. It was a gift from one of you, and I love it. I have not put a year in it. I'm not sure if I will put a year in it because the extra stitch mistake was made here. So I don't think I can center it exactly, but I might want to put my initials there. Because I stitched this, and this is a lot of stitching. And again, this is one that should be framed professionally, really. So who knows? Beautiful. I love this one. It's another one that is very big, and you have to sort of commit to it for years and years. Because even doing 1,000 stitches a month, I will still be working on this for about 14 months. So, yeah, that's a long time. So that means you just have to keep watching my channel, doesn't it? The next one is Croquette à Gogo. I'm showing you this one because this is the booklet I got, but I'm stitching the sampler style. It is keep calm and cross stitch. It is a very sweet pattern. And I try to do one section every floss tube. So here you go. And that is my new section. I've even outlined the top. This is the top. So we have met the top row. Isn't that pretty? I love these colors. It's so, so cute, this one. Yet another one that needs to be framed. I think I should live in a house and just stitch and have things framed. Isn't that pretty? I think they have it framed on the wall. I think that was when I thought, oh, I really have to stitch that one. This one is similar to that one. They just swapped colors around basically, but it is relatively similar. Love it. I love it. I love the colors. I think it's very sweet. I think it's perfect for a stitcher because obviously we'll get the words here, keep calm and cross stitch. So yeah, that will be added. It is repetitive. I think I said that last time as well. So it is not a pattern that I would work on for days and days on end because you know all those flowers are repetitive. The scissors come back again and again. The little thingies with floss come back again and again. So yeah, it is repetitive, but the result is stunning. Stunning. This is again a 20 count, and I'm stitching with a called for DMC. I do think that I stitch with a couple of the old DMC colors. So I thrift colors sometimes, and they are usually the old DMC dye lots, but that's okay, I don't mind that. Love it. Love it. So now I've shown you quite a lot of big ones already. I try to have not that many whips as I had for a while, and then really focus on the bigger ones so they get proper progress. And because I love them the most, I think. And a small one is nice, like the little ones I have as freebies. They're very nice, but they can be done. If you're a quick stitcher, you can do them in an evening. Faith, Hope and Love by Summer House Stitche Workes. And this is Faith. I am stitching this one together with the Hope and Love one on one piece of fabric, and I've changed the colors. And I love this design. Beautiful. This is my favorite one out of all three. And I am genuinely getting there. I've done another couple of rows on the faith section. So I finished the lighter green row to finish sort of the faith and the, I don't know, whatever this is. And then I've started with the, I'm sorry, I'm struggling. And then I've started with all of this. So now I am due the pink row again. Isn't that lovely? Faith, hope, and love. And I have been educated by all of you that what I want to do with this in English is called a bell cord. I think that was what it was called. So it has sort of the metal thingy here. Like I said, I was thrifting in Dordrecht and I saw this thing, and for a moment I was considering it. It was a roll up wooden thing, but I don't want to roll part of this up. I want to actually have it fully displayed. So I will continue to look for the bell cord, schelle cord, metal thingies so I can finish this like that. But I love it. And I might do some beads on the side. There are all these little YouTube shorts where people make lovely borders with beads. So I might want to do that and try that. That'd be lovely. I love this one as well. It's beautiful. I think the Hope one is my least favorite. But in the scheme of things, it calms it down. So that's good. That's really good. And obviously I've changed my color. So if you're interested, let me know. I think one is a 223. The other one is 3363. And I think there is a 935. So 2 greens and 1 pink. Absolutely lovely. And again, a big one that is moving along, and that makes my heart happy. Let's have a bit of tea. The last one I've got to show you, and then we've got a few bits and bobs, is one I haven't stitched on for a very long time. That's because this one to me is a little bit overwhelming. It's so big, it has so many colors in. It's slightly similar to the Theresa Kogut one. It is this one. It is Crocette Gogo Autumn in the City. And it's lovely, but it has so many colors. It's very intricate. So I really need to sort of have headspace to work on this one. And did I have headspace? Oh, and I loved it. I loved it. And I think recently I saw someone have the winter one finished. And I thought, oh, I ought to stitch that one too. But we're starting with autumn, and we'll see about the rest. Here we are. I've done the top row completely. So that is a lot of stitching. It is, I do it on paper, so I don't know how much stitching that is, but that is a lot of stitching. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. So this is the top border. Now I still have to add all these little leaf thingies that are here, but I've done a bit of the white. Let me just move my tea before we have problems. So here we go. I started obviously with the green on the, like the grass, and then continued with the little fence and the mushrooms that are there. And again, that's one of those little details that you don't see when you just look at the pattern. But when you're stitching it, you think, oh, that's mushrooms. That's what I'm stitching. And then the lovely little tree. And then I moved over to the house. And these houses are lovely to stitch. They're small, they're colourful. It's a bit of filling stitching. So I was sick, so I did the white roof, for instance. And then I was supposed to stop here. I thought I've done enough. But then I thought, actually, you know what? I want to do another house. So I did another house. So I love it. Love, love, love it. This is a 20 count. And I'm using all the called for colors. But as you can see, it's a very busy pattern. So a lot of color changes, not so much with the big houses, with the houses, but with all the thingies around it, it is a lot of color changes. All those leaves, I think one of those trees has about 4 or 5 different color leaves in. Um, so yeah, it takes time and focus. But I was so pleased knowing that I have all 3 rows now properly started. And I might even finish the top row because it's a lovely row to stitch, and then I can go down, work my way down again. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this one, and I will get there. It takes a lot longer, and that's okay. There's no rush. This is just another piece that needs framing, so I can't have everything framed. So yeah, I should just keep stitching on this forever and ever. But I love the other ones as well. I love the winter one. So there's 2 pieces of Crocette Gogo that I'm working on at the moment. It's this one and it's the Keep Calm and Cross Stitch. Lovely. I can only recommend it, this one. But do make sure you have proper time. And the last one I am going to start is this one. It is by a designer that I have looked at now a million times. I love her style. It's very different. It's very artsy. I think I've said it before that there are designers who are designers like me. I could do a bit of designing. And then there are artists who create art. And I think Theresa Kogut is one of them, and Jacob de Graaf is one of them. And this lady is another one of them. It's Isabelle Hakour Voce. I don't know. She's obviously French. And she has the most stunning artsy designs. So I will make more of her. I have no doubt. I'm looking at a couple of her sea designs or beach or harbor designs. But this one, I have looked at this one many times because I just love it. I think it's very unique and I've decided to go for it. This is the design. It is Mélodie d'un soir d'été. I don't know. I think it means something like Melody of the Summer, but I might be wrong. It doesn't say on here, but I think it was called Summer Melody or Summer Evening. Not sure. People who speak French, help me out. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's so artsy. So yeah, I'm stitching this. I'm going to start this today, I think, if I have a moment. But I'm going to change the colors, obviously, because that's what I do. What I want to create is the old vintagey sheet of music. So that is, I'm going to stitch it on vintage country mocha. Ada, obviously, 20 count. So it will be sort of beige, brownish, like the vintage paper would be. And then I'm going to stitch it in soie d'Alger black. So it will be silk black because that has good coverage on the black. And it will be slightly shimmery. So this will be stitched in black on vintage country mocha. And I think that will be beautiful and it will have that old look. And then if you put a beautiful black frame on it, that will be stunning. So I have a lot of stitching to do. So I can go to het Garenhuis and have this one frame. Yeah, we'll get there, but this is a big one. This is 221 by 310. So it is a big one. I did check, and the bars basically are uh, uh, sort of back stitching. Those are not crosses. So that is a that helps, I guess. But yeah, I'm going to start. Obviously, I'm starting here, so I'm starting with the words, and then I will work my way up towards the lady. I think this is a stunning design. And again, have a look at what she does. Isabella Hakur Roche. I don't know, but it's stunning. Absolutely stunning. So that is planned because I don't have enough to stitch yet. So I decided I needed another big one. Oh well. Like I said, I went thrifting. And I thrifted a while ago. I thrifted this one. This is a beautifully knitted with beads purse. And I loved this one. And then in Dordrecht, I didn't even plan on it. I just came across this tiny shop in a sort of a side street. And I thought, oh, she's got a lot of beads. So why don't I go in? Because I use beads and sequins for my haute couture embroidery. And I thought she might have some that I can use. So I popped in, and it was this absolutely delightful lady who said that she was going to retire and that the shop was up for sale. And she was, like I said, very, very kind. Anyway, I saw this lovely little purse, and I thought that will be a lovely addition to whatever purses I have. And it is again knitted with black this time, and uh, the gold beads are on it. Absolutely beautiful, great condition, great condition. And then it has the little gold thingy on it. Isn't that stunning? Now, this one isn't old. It is from 1988, which, mind you, is almost 40 years old. This was made when I was 2. Isn't that lovely? And she gave me a great deal on it. I only paid 25 euros because she wanted it to sell it. And I think she was quite happy to see that I was genuinely interested in these things. So, isn't that pretty? I love that. I have it hanging on one of my black cupboards, and it stands out against the black, especially in the evenings, in the evening light. Beautiful. So I was very happy to add that to my little purses collection. Right, that's that. I've been doing a lot of embroidery as well. I love that. And I've been working on 2 dresses. Like I said, I'm putting that on another channel because it is sort of um, it's getting out of hand in a good way. It is. I'm loving it. I'm loving designing clothes like that, and um, creating beautiful embroidery on a dress that was about to go in the bin. Is very rewarding. So that's what you will find on my website. I will put it out again. www.dutchstitcherdesign.com, and you will have there'll be a shop there. I currently do not sell to America because of all the tariffs that are going on. I'm really sorry about that. I would love to sell just to the whole world, but things are not at the moment allowing for that. So I am sorry. If you are from America and you are very interested by something that you see, a dress that you might like or something, do get in touch and we can see if we can work something out between the two of us. Um, but yeah, if I don't have it standard on my website, but I'm always open to a conversation. My other channel is the Upcycle Needle. I'm gonna post a video on there at the same time as I'm posting this one. So you can go over there and have a look at all my um, embroidery that I've been working on. I will go into a bit more depth on the way, the things that I do, so the techniques that I use or the choices that I make. So if that interests you, you can go over there and have a look. I thank you very much for watching. It's always so slightly humbling when I see the viewer count going up. It is yeah, I really appreciate it. And I appreciate the comments. I appreciate everyone who has looked in old books to see if they could find the pattern of the thrifted find, the big one that I had last time. No one has found it so far, but I appreciate people looking and commenting and just being kind. All of that is very important. So keep doing that, not just to me, but to everyone out there. And I will see you all again in about a month's time. Bye bye.